What's happening, guys? So today I want to talk about the importance of running through volume blocks in your training and not sticking with the intensity being too high. Now, we as power lifters, we want to be as strong as possible. We like to lift heavy weights. It's why we do what we do. But you have to understand that if you always stay with really heavy weights all the time, eventually you're going to stagnate and you're going to have a really hard time making progress. And at some point you need to be able to increase your work capacity. You need to be able to get your volume up so that you can have more success down the road, so you're not always doing the exact same thing. Remember what I talked about in that adaptation video, you need to make sure that you're not having maladaptation by doing the same thing too frequently. So what is a volume block? Well, it really is just that. It's a block where you go through and you do more volume. You're going to decrease the intensity, meaning weight, and you're going to increase reps, and you're going to get more volume in that way. Volume is sets times reps times weight. And to do this, you're going to have to back off the weight a little bit, and that can be a difficult thing for a powerlifter to do because we want to lift heavy and we want to see progression with our heavy weights and we want to feel like we're getting stronger all the time. And you might not get stronger from an actual volume block, not during the volume block or right after. You might not see an increase in strength during this block, but that doesn't mean that it's not extremely beneficial towards your training, because you are not going to see it manifest itself until you go through and you start increasing the intensity and you go through intensity blocks and things like that. Then you're going to see all that work that you did before pay off big time, but it takes time and patience, and you have to understand that you're not necessarily going to see it pay off right away, and that can be very difficult for a lot of people. So what are some of the benefits of going through a volume block? Well, for one, it can help you build more muscle, it can help you burn fat if that's something you're trying to do. It'll help increase your work capacity, it'll help reduce fatigue, especially in the later stages of your training. If you go through a good volume block, that might help you stop from fatiguing so easily in your later stages of training. It can help you develop neuromuscular balance, it can help you decrease your injury risk. There's just a lot of benefits that go along with a volume block other than just doing more work and getting more volume in. So as you can see, there's a lot of benefits that go along with going through a volume block and progressively going towards heavier weights over time. And this actually ties in really well with a question that I got from a subscriber recently on a different video that pretty much asked, how soon after a meet should you do another meet? And really, I can't give just a one-size-fits-all answer to this, but what I can say is I personally think it's important to not do too many meets, and I think it's important, if you want to perform your best and have the best results possible, especially long-term, to take your time to go through a volume block and slowly and progressively increase the intensity over time to the point where you get to the very end where you're going to get really specific and go really heavy. And that takes time. It takes time to go through proper blocks and to be able to set yourself up for the future success. So if you're doing meets all the time, you're always going to be in these intensity blocks, you're always going to be super specific, and then you run the risk of maladaptation and really becoming stagnant with your training, and you're just not setting yourself up for very good long-term results in that scenario. Okay, so to summarize, basically, you want to make sure you're not sticking with heavy weights all the time. You want to make sure that you give yourself a chance to build your work capacity, to increase your volume, and then slowly over time, do block after block, increase the intensity until the point where you're about to do a meet, and that's when you want to get really specific and go really heavy. But you want to make sure you're not always do the same thing over and over again, or you're going to get maladaptation and you're not going to get optimal results. So I hope that all makes sense. If you do have any questions about it, make sure you leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to get back to you. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.